Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. All right, so as I mentioned in my last video, Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts, and arguably in Ukraine. All right, so Donetsk and Lugansk, they have announced a date for a referendum to rejoin Russia. That is going to be September 23rd through 27th. The Zaporozhye and Kherson regions have not yet announced a date, but after these two oblasts have announced dates, I expect them to also announce concurrent dates or, very close to that. So, what has been the response to this? Almost immediately, NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan have come out and condemned these referendums. They are calling them a sham, violation of sovereignty, and illegal, and so forth and so on. How is it illegal if it is the will of the people in these regions? This is the right of self-determination. If Alabama, Florida, California, Texas wants to secede from the United States and they hold a vote on this, is that illegal? Is that a violation of sovereignty? Is that a sham? If they want to claim that they're worried about the validity of these referendums, okay, well then let's get the United Nations together, send in international monitors to make sure that these are held in a fair manner. But they didn't do that with Crimea, and they've had 8 years since the Crimea referendum was held. What is sovereignty? I mean, define sovereignty. What makes a nation? Is it? I brought this question up in the past. Is it lines on a map that define a nation? Is it who's making the most money? Is it who can inflict the most violence on their own people? A referendum, a plebiscite, is a democratic process, whereas people are declaring their own will towards self-determination. The people of these regions, there is no way they can go back to anything like the Minsk Agreement, which was never honored by Ukraine. I've already said that even if Russia pulled their troops out today, what would happen would be that the Ukrainian forces would come in and conduct absolute genocide, just like they were trying to do for the last 8 years. Ukraine doesn't recognize the right of self-determination. They never recognized the right of self-determination of Crimea. They have announced that anyone that is not absolutely just beholden to the Ukrainian government is a traitor. if you oppose, imagine if you oppose something that your government says or does, and you voice that, and you are afraid you are going to be arrested, tortured, disappeared, killed. Is that sovereignty? Is that right to self-determination? But it's under Ukrainian law. It's legal. Let me ask this. When Britain, the UK, voted to withdraw from the European Union, was that a violation of sovereignty? Well, the European Union is making demands on smaller nations like Hungary, making threats against these countries, demanding every one of these countries be loyal to the bloc of the European Union, rather than be the government being loyal to the people of their own nation and what is in the interest of their people. Neither Europe nor the United States nor the UK have democracy. We don't have democracy. We vote for, just because you walk into a voting booth, that doesn't mean you have any right of self-determination. That means that you get to vote for somebody that's going to go to Washington or whatever, and vote, make decisions that are against your own interests, that are favorable to corporations, that are against small businesses, that are against the wishes of the people. California voters voted in universal health care, and then the legislature voted it down. Germany, they said that they are going to back Ukraine, no matter how much the German people are going to suffer because of it. Actually, what they said was no matter how much the politicians have to suffer. And I've pointed out that politicians are not going to suffer. They're not going to have their heat turned off. They're not going to have their power turned off. They're not going to go hungry. They're not ever going to go without wages or a retirement. Same thing in the United States. Any member of Congress, once they've served in Congress, they have got a pension for the rest of their lives. They're not going to suffer. They're not going to go hungry. They're not going to be thrown out of their homes, evicted, out on the street. So if the people of these oblasts make the decision that they want to rejoin Russia, this should be the vote, at least. The referendum should be supported by international monitors. That would be democracy. When Kiev makes the decision, it rewrites their constitution so that if a region chooses to withdraw from Ukraine, then it's illegal unless Kiev, the people in the parliament in Kiev, decide that it's okay, which they will never decide it is okay. What do you say to this? Are you really in favor of democracy? You cannot support Ukraine and NATO and the EU and the United States and their statements on these matters and still claim that you are in favor of democracy? Even where Taiwan is concerned. Okay, yeah, fine. Hold a referendum in Taiwan. If you're saying that you're in favor of Taiwan being able to secede, but you're against Crimea, Donbass, and these other regions in Ukraine being able to secede, how do you balance that? How do you say you're in favor of one but not the other? You are either in favor of democracy or you are not. There's no in between. There is nothing in between. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. Let's hope that this is going to lead to peace talks and the end of this conflict. Cross your fingers with me. All right? Again, share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can afford it, please donate whatever you can to help expand this channel and my presidential campaign. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good day.